Hello, really welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I wanted to share with you how to make this 3D cake slice. So I've had a lot of requests over the past couple of weeks for this one. I will put on screen a few comments now if I can find them, but yeah, I've decided to do the cake slice today. So this is what it has turned out like. I've got like the jam filling, got the icing with the sprinkles on the top and the sides, and it's just a slice of cake with a cute little face on. So I hope you're enjoying Paper Squishy week so far. I think this is day 3 now, and yeah, I hope you're also staying inside, staying home, staying safe, staying as healthy as you possibly can. Hopefully these videos are keeping you nice and busy, nice and entertained. If you do end up doing them, then just give me a little tag on Instagram, send me over your pictures, I'll repost it on my stories, and yeah, just gonna get straight on into it, and I'll be squishing it at the end. So as with all my paper squishies, I made this one here out of just the normal A4 printer paper, just the printer paper you get in those huge blocks. That's usually the paper I use. I know in yesterday's video I did end up using toilet paper as an alternative kind of, but yeah, usually I just use regular printer paper. So I just took a strip of that, folded it in half, making sure that it was like the same size all the way along. Then I took a yellow pen and I just did like this little zigzaggy texture just to make it look a little bit lighter. I wanted a lighter yellow than I actually had, but this was the lightest one, so I just used that using some zigzaggy patterns. I then did this dripping like effect to be like the jam in the middle of the cake, and I also did a strip of pink down one side as well as like a little wave of it along the top. I did the exact same design on the other side as well, so that I had like a V of that design. I then cut the same kind of thickness piece, just a little bit shorter, to act as like the back bit of the cake. I took some sprinkle colours and just did little sprinkles on them, and then I just coloured all the way around that, just making sure not to go over the little sprinkle bits. So as you can see, I'm drawing around them to protect them and then like colouring in between. If you wanted to be a little bit smarter about this, you can obviously colour it all in and then like paint on these sprinkles afterwards. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but I just coloured around them just to be a little bit more complicated. Once I had that piece done, I then sellotaped that to one of the sides of the pieces, and that will create, you know, the back piece of the cake to give it like that 3D effect. Before sticking it, however, I did go back in with my tape and just ended up covering the whole strip in clear tape just before putting it together, because I thought that that would be easier. So as you can see, I'm pulling that back bit up and then sticky taping it down to both sides so that I'll be left with a triangle. Once I had that basis of the triangle, I then drew around that shape to make another triangle on a piece of paper, and I then cut that out and made another one so that I had two pieces, one for the top and one for the bottom. This was to make the base and the top of the squishy to make it 3D. So one of them I coloured in the same pattern as the sprinkled back piece, just to make sure that I had the sprinkle design on the top, and then for the bottom one I just coloured that in a yellow, just with the same zigzaggy like pattern. But instead of using just yellow, I also added a little bit of brown as well, because I thought the bottom of the cakes usually cooked a little bit more, so I added a little bit of extra dimension on that. Probably could have done a better job at it, but that's what I did. As I said, I did the top of the cake in the same way as I did the back. Painting, I didn't paint them. I drew on the sprinkles and then coloured in around them using the same colours. Once the top and the bottom bits were then done, I actually just put my little face on. This is completely optional. I like to put cute faces on absolutely everything. If you're new to my channel, you might not know that, but I'm sure if you've been here for even like one other day, I just put cute faces on everything because I think it just makes everything look a little bit more happier and cuter. So yeah, I did that with a permanent marker because I didn't want the black to run into the inks that were already on the paper. I always find that using a permanent marker works the best. So once I had done that, I then taped it down to my desk, and then I realized that this was like a really bad mistake, because once I pulled it off, the kind of piece of paper ripped a little bit, as you can see there, so I had to tape it back together. But my idea was to actually just tape it down and then I have like the tape hanging off it. It still worked that way, I just had to, you know, stick together the bit I ripped. I think that was just because I'm using like really expensive sellotape because I'm unable to get the cheap one I usually use. So yeah, it was a little bit stronger than I'd originally hoped, but it worked out fine. So I just taped on the piece for the top of the squishy into place, and then once that was done I flipped it over and then inserted all the stuffing and stuff inside. So I ended up using toy stuffing as a layer, and then like scraps of memory foam from making a squishy, and then just more toy stuffing, more scraps of foam, that sort of stuff, just bring it up in layers like I usually do. I make a lot of memory foam squishies, so always have like little bits of scrap foam hanging around, and rather than throwing them away I just collect them in little bags or like little pots to save for when I do make paper squishies, and it works as the best filling. So to seal all that in using the like yellow triangle piece, I just taped the like flat bit of the triangle first to the back bit where the sprinkles were. For some reason I was concentrating so much that I forgot to get this bit in shot, but yeah, just tape that down as you can see, and then you just want to really focus on doing one side at a time. So I take one small bit of tape, hold it down in place and make sure that it's all lined up, take that bit down, then take another bit of tape, make sure it's all lined up, take that bit down. Just do it in little bits and then you'll be able to get the neatest finish possible. So once you have one side, you'll then want to go all the way up to the point and then go all the way down the other side. And once I had done that, I then flipped it over. I used some acrylic paint just to finish off the face, so I took some white and added highlight to the eyes, and then took a very pale pink and just added that to the inside of the mouth to create a tongue, as well as acting as blush either side of the eyes. As you can see here, this worked out really well over the tape, so I'd recommend doing the sprinkles in the same way if you're going to be making this. It would just work out so much easier, so much better, you'd save so much time. So yeah, that is how I made the 3D squishy. Once all my paint had fully dried, my squishy was then complete. So as you would have seen, I painted these bits on with acrylic and now they are fully dry. My squishy is now complete. So this is how it looks fully done. I am obsessed with it. I did end up ripping the paper here. I don't know if you can see closely. If I bring it up close, there is actually a tear here. Like when I peeled it off my desk, it kind of ripped in half. But yeah, really happy with how this has turned out. Really love the colours and like the colours of the sprinkles and everything. I have like made it so that the sprinkles are down on the side, so that if it was like a slice of cake, the sprinkles would be on the side as well, wouldn't they? So I put them on the side as well as the top, put the face on the top, and then had the jam going all the way around like so. And I didn't really have a light yellow kind of marker. I used the lightest one as possible, but on the bottom I just kind of used a darker brown as well, just to kind of make it look a little bit more cooked, because I figure like on the bottom of cakes it's always a bit darker, isn't it? So yeah, I did like these zigzaggies to make it like a bit white and a bit yellow to give the illusion that it's like cake texture or like a lighter yellow. Didn't really work out that well, but that's all I could think of. So yeah, now I'm gonna kind of destroy the creation and the perfectness of it, which I'm really actually quite sad to do, but let's see how it works. Now you ready? It's a 3, 2, 1. Oh, I felt so guilty doing that. That actually felt really good though, but pop it back. Look at that. That isn't too bad. It isn't too bad at all. I've certainly had worse paper squishies. Ready? It's so satisfying when you make like a design like this that takes you absolutely forever. This one took me around about an hour to do today. But yeah, it's just so satisfying, like properly squishing it back. If you want to get back to shape, just do that and just, you know, shape it back. It will end up a little bit crinkled, but that doesn't matter. Like all mine end up crinkled. That's just because of the paper. And then the reason I put tape over the whole entire thing is so it doesn't rip or, you know, is able to stay semi-flat, because if you don't, it ends up being 10 times more crinkled, which I know from like the backs of my pieces. So yeah, just get this back to shape. There we go. Look at that. what a cutie. So anyway, that is the end of today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye.